if this is a live stream. According to the PlayStation 4 it is, but it's not showing up yet on YouTube. Let's keep looking. There it is. Welcome to Limited Run Games Saturday night, a pre-taped edition tonight because I have to cover fights on Saturday, but I am making it a special treat for all 819 subscribers. Thank you, each and every one of you. You are appreciated. I am bringing you something brand new that just came out this week as a Kickstarter backer reward. This is Battle Princess Madelyn. It is being pressed up in a physical form by Limited Run Games, but backers are getting a digital version of it now, so I consider this part of my Limited Run Games collection because I will eventually have a physical copy of it. Let's get started, shall we? Again, I am Mr. MegaManFan at MrMegaManFan, and also you can find me on Tumblr under the same name. Let me turn down the volume just a little bit here. This game's daughter and by the Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghosts and Goblins, whatever you choose to call the games, they are the basis, the inspiration that Casual Bit Games drew from. Let's watch the opening sequence, shall we? And of course, things go bad in a hurry. So now it's up to our or to get bust in the chops by something that came her way. As a weapon, X to jump. You can also do a close range attack, it seems. Triangle does nothing. The circle does nothing. Oh, at least for now, they don't appear to do anything. Yes, you can definitely see the Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins influence here. Wouldn't be hard to guess it even if you didn't know the backstory of Casual Bit Games. But check out their Kickstarter if you do want to know said backstory. You can no longer back it because the campaign closed a while ago, but you can at least read the public updates there and find out more about this game. Oh good, I have a double jump. That's helpful. I can shoot this spitting plant thing. There we go. But I also got hit by a bottle in the process. Oh, look at this ugly thing. Doesn't seem like I can kill it. And I just got hit by the Grim Reapers looking at things. Oh! And there was another enemy right in front of me and I didn't even see it. Another one of these spitting plants here. A lot going on in this game. And unlike some of the Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins games, I don't immediately know everything, so I'm playing this blind. I have not played this before. I redeemed my code right before the live stream tonight, so I'm experiencing this for the very first time right here in front of all of you. Very classic Ghouls and Ghosts, Ghosts and Goblins type of action here where the enemies pop up both in front of you and behind you. Oh! And now they even throw things at you, just to make it even more devious. There's lots of fast and frantic action here. And I think I used up all my lives, and I have to go back to the beginning now. I don't know if you would consider this a beta version or not, but I do know that the reason this isn't being pressed up physically yet is because the Kickstarter backer update said there was, quote, balancing and what was it? Balancing and polishing, I believe was the term they used. That there are things that they need to do to finalize the release in physical form before it can be pressed to a disc. So what we're getting right now is if not the beta version, the pre-release alpha maybe is enough to it that they can give out the download code and let people play it. I do like that you can fire the arrows both up and forward. It's nice to have the different range of motion. That way you can deal with enemies coming at you from multiple different directions. Still think I might have the volume a little too loud here, but it's hard to find a moment to stop when these monsters just keep coming and coming and coming. Let's see if I can pause it here. Well, the graphics kept moving even when I hit the option button to pause, but now I can turn down the volume just a little bit. Just a touch. Alright, let's resume the game. I think it's helpful to keep track of the flashes both ahead and behind, because that's kind of queuing me up to where the enemies are coming from. And there just gets to be a point where there's so many of them on the screen at once, what are you even going to do about it? And they can drop down to you, great. Okay, just get up these ones above me before I go back up there. That would be super. But then, of course, I got hit by the shooting plant again. Let's take care of that plant, shall we? And this monster right in front of me. And this one, too. So much going on here. Guess that's not a platform I could stand on, even though it kind of looked like it. Very linear progression so far, just left to right. Not complaining about it. That is classic for this style of game. Yeah, we got another shooting plant up there. How many hits that guy take before he goes down? Good grief. Got some progression here to a new area. Oh! And of course, monsters that just pop out of nowhere again. It'd be nice to pick up some enhanced weapons at some point. Oh! It's throwing rocks at me. That's not nice. They are a lot more forgiving with the amount of hits you can take compared to Ghosts and Goblins, because in that game, each hit you're just stripped away to almost nothing, and I do mean literally. You lose your clothes and everything. Alright, come on, Madelyn, work with me here. Darn it! I was trying to avoid the bullets and I couldn't. Oh, those spitting plants are the worst. And I just got sucked under by a giant worm. easy this game is not. Oh boy. That just might be too many enemies to deal with. And a spitting plant just to make things better. Let's see if I can knock out this guy who throws the tombstones first. Before I go up here and deal with this stupid ass plant. And there's another one, boy. Something's gonna pop out of these coffins, I just know it. Well, maybe not. I'm guessing I go down. I'm trying to go down. Do I not go down? Sure looks like a staircase down. Alright. Where do you want me to go, game? You tell me. Oh, there we go. I don't know why I had such trouble getting onto that staircase. Gotta keep eyes both in front and in back of your head. Oh! Some upgraded armor. There we go. And an upgraded weapon. About time. Maybe I can take out the plant. No. Can't shoot through the wall. Darn it. Just gonna have to time it. Whoa! And keep mindful of the fact there are enemies behind me while I'm doing it. This weapon definitely seems to be more powerful. If I could take out this worm thing, that would be really helpful. But the worm does not seem to go down very easily, so maybe it's not worth leaving. One thing I'm not a huge fan of is how fast the money disappears. I don't think I can run fast enough to get to it before it all vanishes. If I was going to balance something, I might balance that. Oh, boss time. Big bad boss time. Oh, ouch. That hurt. Seems he's only vulnerable in his head. Oh. As long as I move forward to avoid the sword thrust, I'm okay. So far, anyway, until he changes his pattern. That was close. Oh, I knew something would happen sooner or later. Now he's calling in some reinforcements. Oh, hello. How many hits this guy take? Come on. Yeah, do your choppy chop. Come on. Call in more reinforcements. Okay. Come on, Madelyn, let's do this. kind of hopping around there. I'm winking pretty hard, so it's got to be just about dead. Trophy earned. Just what I did. Whatever that trophy means. Oh, here we go again with his running around like a nutball. He's going really fast now. Gotta be close to dead. Ah, come on! Bazillion hits to kill this guy, I swear. Uh-oh. I lost my cool weapon. Down to my basic weapon. I hope it's enough. An epic battle! Go forth, brave warrior, and continue to save the land from evil. Yes, that's what Madelyn will most certainly do. And this is a very charming game, which I expected it to be all along when I backed it, so I'm not at all surprised. It definitely captures that old school 8 to 16-bit era. The sign says, watch your step. I just earned a trophy for that as well. Probably because I died in a very foolish and foolhardy manner. Oh, that sucked right into the plane again. It's not intending to do that. Lily pads, okay. Why not? Except there was something in the water that killed me. How far back do I go now? Oh, back to the beginning of the stage. At least not all the way back to the beginning. That's helpful. Doggone it. That archer is a pain. Oh, the lily pads sink. I gotta be careful about. Oh, and there was a root there in the tree. That's I have to jump over that to avoid damage. Except the archer is also shooting at me while I'm trying to do that. Confound it! Oof. Oh, come on! How am I supposed to do that and shoot at the enemy at the same time? You're giving me a lot to deal with here, Madelyn. Come on now. See what I mean about the money? You can't even get there before it disappears. I even tried to duck the arrow that time and I still got hit. This is a matter of just getting the timing right, but the timing sucks. I tried to jump over the arrow to no avail. Okay, I'm gonna get the hang of this. I am gonna get the hang of this. Trial and error, that's what these games are all about. Trial and frickin' error. Okay, that time I jumped the arrow, so that's a good start. And that time I killed the archer before I even made the jump, so another plus. Alright, starting to get this whole timing thing down. Starting to. Oh, there was an archer up there. Archer and a boulder. I had nowhere to go. I was stuck both ways. Jeez, those frogs take way too many hits. Oh! How do you get to fire your arrows in multiple different directions? You're a real bastard, you know that? I see a chance for some vertical progression here. Instead of just going left to right, we're now actually going up. That is, we would be if I hadn't just died. So now I gotta go back to the beginning of this stage again. And get hit by a boulder, and then pulled into the mud by that ugly hand. Well, if I could just climb up, that would be great, but apparently I can't. And you can also shoot down as well as up, so I'm not really safe no matter where I am. That was my own fault, I jumped too soon. And I got sucked into the plant again. You know, I think I'm out of lives. Yep, back to the beginning here. Alright, so far so okay? No, not so okay. Ah, archer. Yeah, one of these days I'll get his timing down, but why don't I just start back at the beginning here? Yeah, put me back at the beginning with a full set of lives. Let's do this the right way, huh? Alright. The hand's gonna push the boulder. And there's gonna be an archer. Alright. There's gonna be another archer down here. You can just let him sink into the drink. Alright. Oh! Forgot I gotta jump that one in the middle. Alright. There we go. There we go. Shoot. Yeah, good. Took out some of these archers. And it seems like you can duck the frogs' energy blasts if you just crouch down while you shoot at the frogs, so... Oh! Got another boulder here. And some more archers. At least you can shoot while you're clinging to the ladders. That's helpful. But falling into the drink is not helpful. about a weapon upgrade? I'd really use one of those. Oh boy. Maybe I should take one of these guys out. Alright. Takes care of those archers. Oh! And you can actually kill those plants. That's helpful. Ah. Whoa. Okay. Oh, I see. You climb these. And you kill the snakes that are on them. They don't knock you all the way back down to the bottom. Oh! Ooh. Alright. Darn it, I thought it was only shooting in one direction. Am I all the way back to the beginning now? Yes. Yes. Yes, I am. Resume game, quit the title. There's no save game here, but I suppose that's classically 16-bit of it. Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, whatever you want to consider this. Kinda looks like a Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis game to me. It plays like the original Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely a little more visually enhanced than an 8-bit game. Oh, I thought I was over the barrel, but I wasn't. And then I got eaten by the plant. That's a craptacular start. I think I'm just gonna suicide this one and start over with a fresh set of lives. Yep, straight into the briny depths. Let's just start all the way over. Nope. Not interested. Just wanna restart with a fresh set of lives, please. Back to the beginning, thank you. That time I avoided the boulder. Archer up here. Took care of him. There'll be one in the water here. Took care of him. At some point there will be another one in the water here. Yep, I knew it. Ow. You just can't duck that archer. You can jump over his arrows, but you can't duck under them. The frog at least you can duck. But whatever that thing is, maybe it's not a frog, but it looks frogly enough to me. Frogly? I don't think that's a word. I think I just invented a word. It looks frogly. Whatever the heck that means. Archers are pointing here. Oh! That's not fair. I'm not saying it should be fair, but that wasn't fair. Alright. I want some revenge on these plants. Yeah. Die, plants, die. There we go. That feels good to do. Yeah. Die, you stupid plant. Now we're going to cross over to the climbing the stalactite side. Doggone it. I keep pausing to try to not get hit, and I keep getting hit anyway. Oh, I got the upgraded weapon now. I'll take that. Alright, up we go. Down we go, because I didn't grab hold. Oh! I missed everything. And then I got knocked to my death. Lovely. I'm not all the way out of lives yet. I thought I was, but I guess I'm still in the fight somehow. Nah, probably not anymore. Yeah, maybe I am. Oh! Why can't I get the timing right on this one? There we go. Bats are irritating. Well, I'm learning one thing. You can only shoot left or right when you cling to something. You can't shoot up. No matter how helpful that would actually be, you can't do it. That makes these bats a real problem. Ah! And guess what? Now I'm out of lives again. Back to the beginning. Ugh, almost shook my headset off in frustration there. Sorry. Hopefully the audio is still coming through. Let's do this again, like we did last summer. Hand that rocks the boulder. Kick out I shoot arrows at my ass. And then jump right into the drink. Because I'm an idiot. So you know what? I'm just going to suicide it and start back at the beginning with a fresh set of lives. Because that was so dumb. Yep, forget it. I'm going into the drink. I want a fresh set of lives to do this with. know there's another archer there. Even if I couldn't see him, I knew he was there. Alright, so far so bad. Come on, push the boulder. Ow! Stupid archers. Trial and error. This game is a lot of trial and error. I'm going to memorize where all these freaking enemies are. I do so enjoy killing those plants. Dang it! The hand that rocks the cradle got me. I want to keep streaming, but I'm also getting hungry. Use a snack right about now. I don't know, some potato chips, maybe some popcorn. That would probably be a little healthier. I've got some almonds next to me. I guess that'll do if I need a quick bite. Let me just grab a handful of almonds real quick. Try to kill the hunger craving here, since it doesn't look like I'm on a timer that's going to expire. Sorry for crunching on the air, but Sir Crunch will understand. Just a handful of almonds to keep me going. Packed full of good nutrition and not a lot of fat like potato chips. But I'm not knocking potato chips. I still love them. I think I went the wrong way there, but that's okay. I'll work my way back up. Now we're progressing to the stalagmite area with the stupid bats. Take out you bats first. Alright. Go! Not smooth. Not smooth at all. The platforming might use a little bit of tweaking. Sometimes the animation is a little bit jerky when you land. I wouldn't mind if they tried to make that slightly smoother. Wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. Also, if you didn't have to re-kill these snakes every single time, you kill them once and they stayed dead, that would be kind of nice. But I'm just talking out of my ass here. grant that when you jump, you can cling to the objects you're jumping to. That is pretty effective. That is very Shantae and the Pirate's Curse-esque of it. I see you, bats. There, that's better. See what I mean about the jerkiness? Like when you stand at the top of a platform, it kind of jumps up a little like that. They might want to fix that, or maybe that's a stylistic choice. Maybe I'm just completely out to lunch on that one, and they actually want it to jerk into place like that. But to me, I think that might be something they could tweak. Maybe I'll mention it since I'm a backer. I could always go into the comments section and say, hey guys, I'm playing the download code you gave me as a backer, and guess what? I noticed this. Oh. And back to the beginning I go. Yay! Just when I was finally getting the hang of that particular area. You know what? I want to go back to the title and see if I can explore some of the options here. To see what options there are, for that matter. Story mode, options. Scan lines off, soundtrack orchestral, or arcade. Okay. I think I like the orchestral. Default controls. Left stick, X button, square button, cycle, R1, L1. That must be when you have more than one weapon. Pause, inventory, options, or the touchpad button. You know what? Let's look at the credits real quick, since we're already here. Let's talk about the people behind Casual Big Games, shall we? Creative directors and game design, Madelyn and Christopher Orbritz. Art, Christopher Orbritz and Matt Murray. Story, Tina Gagliardi, Christopher Orbritz, and Madelyn Orbritz. Developers, Davin Bigeloff, Double Dash, Sebastian Vidic, and Christopher Orbritz. Music, Greiser S7. Sound effects, Greiser S7, Christopher Orbritz, and John McCarthy. Console development, Chris Berkeley, Edward D. Geronimo Jr., Double Dash, and Jacob Key. We got Joseph Andrews, Aaron Clark, Christopher Oberts, and Marco Gimetti. Testers, Big Ben Heb, Evan Nass, and Caleb Patton. Sculpin Qua, Angela Oberts, Dan Moore. Marketing, Hound Picked Games, Dan Moore, and Antonio Garcia. Casual Big Games are Christopher Oberts, Dan Bigelow, Madelyn Oberts, and other dude. You are my everyday source of inspiration. Davin and my awesome team. We wouldn't have been here without you. Mom and Dad for being my strong arm of support. Grampy, Fritzy, Ben Herb, Justin Henniger. Scrolling too fast for me to get everything here. Thank you for kicking my retro brain into shape with many nights of old school gaming. Davin, Nicole and Dax, my goals and dreams stem from you. Chris, Lima, Maddie, Sophie, Fritzy for bringing me these epic adventures. The rest of the team, Mom and Dad, Ken, Sierra, biggest thanks to our Kickstarter backers. The weapon designer, Jeff C.D. Jones, Joe, Tony Stark, the design collector, and a bunch of people. The vintage collector. Well, my name's going to be in here somewhere. We'll see which level I backed at. I can't even remember right now off the top of my head. Not one of the top tiers, I'm sure of that part. We'll get there eventually. But this will be the first game I think that I've actually had my name in the credits for. I sure wish I had gotten into the credits for, whatchamacallit, Shovel Knight. But I found out about Shovel Knight too late. I'm not a tailor, I don't think. But Whangam is. knight. Was I a knight? No, I don't think so. Raw was, though. The Fallen? Was I one of those? Not looking like it necessarily. We'll keep looking, though. Anime Mayhem was, though. Good for him. Austin Reynolds, Barney, Baron Brain. Okay, maybe I am in this tier, because this tier looks pretty long, so this might be like the $25 to $50 backer level, and it looks like it's not going by last name. It looks like it's going alphabetically by first name, so now comes the part of the live stream that we can probably fast forward through. So, you know what? I will grab a beverage from the fridge, and when we get to my name in this part, I'll say something. Close now, we're into the R's. Oh, Eric Weiss, I know him. Fellow collector of old video games. Seth, Choutme, Siobhan, Smeg, Soylent, Spencer, Steph, Sterling, Stephen Crawford. Did they just put me in as Steven and not my last name? Or am I in a lower tier? I guess we'll see if there's another tier after this. Oh boy, yeah, I might even be in this tier somewhere. I don't know. Let's see. I really thought I would be in there by first name and last name, not just first name alone. Well, no, I wouldn't be in that tier then. Player? No, I don't know. Unless there's a crap ton of names in this one. Yeah, well, maybe I'm in this one. Okay. Well, this is going to take a while, so let's talk about issues of the day, shall we? First of all, this ongoing Soulja Boy saga. If you all haven't had your fill of Soulja Boy consoles, and Soulja Boy controversy yet, I think it's become, I don't know if I want to call it a circle jerk necessarily, but it's definitely, here's my example, best one I can think of off the top of my head. You ever go to the zoo and they have a pond full of koi fish and a little machine that you can put a quarter in and turn the crank and it dispenses food pellets. You can take those pellets and throw them into the koi pond and you'll see 100 fish swarm to wherever the pellets splash. They just all run toward it as fast as they could, or swim toward it, I guess I should say. But you know what? They don't know the difference between a food pellet and a chip of ice. If you take a piece of ice from your beverage that you're walking around the zoo with and throw it in, they hear the splash and they all come running anyway. That's what this Soulja Boy thing has come to be to me at this point. It's every time Soulja Boy does something, whether he does something real or whether he does something that people perceive to be real, they all just come running. Oh, we gotta talk about Soulja Boy now. And I'm not knocking anybody for it because he created the situation that we're all in now by selling consoles that were preloaded with unlicensed games and claiming they were licensed. And then on top of that, he was charging ridiculous amounts of markup over what you could get the very same systems, legal or not. You could get them otherwise for about a third to a tenth of the price from places like Amazon and AliExpress. And he was just making a huge markup and laughing at everybody, claiming that he owned the license to it. So he stirred the pot, and the pot stirred back, and now they're each going back and forth stirring each other. So all I have to say about all of that is, basically, if you want to get your licks in on Soulja Boy for selling an illegal clone console with games that he doesn't own the license to, that's all well and good. But to some degree, you're doing him a favor because he's trolling by selling this system and getting people to respond to it and gets his name back into the spotlight, which he hasn't really had for a decade. And at the end of the day, I think he benefits from the publicity, even if all those systems get taken down. And of course, they will eventually get taken down, as we've already seen happen several times now. Like his tweet where he said, "I had to boss up, I had no choice." And then suddenly, one of his Soulja Game websites started redirecting to Nintendo. Makes you wonder why he had to boss up, huh? So, what I'm saying to you guys is, if he's doing something illegal, it's gonna come back to haunt him. And we know that he shouldn't be selling systems that have unlicensed games on them, Famiclone systems. But at the same time, everybody's just feeding the troll by taking the bait every time he puts a new one of these up on his website, and it's gonna get taken down anyway. And then everybody else is copying what they see everybody doing. They're all just swimming to wherever goes splash in the pond. They're just all feeding on this because it's guaranteed views, exposures, clicks, hits. I'm obviously guilty of that right now because I'm using this time while we scroll through the credits to talk about the very same issues. So you could say I'm no different from everybody else, but I'm doing so to fill time and to point out that in the end, everybody's getting their viral fame off of each other. Soulja Boy is getting it off the people who are complaining, and the people who are complaining are getting it off Soulja Boy. So maybe actually it's a win for everybody except for the copyright holders, and they're the ones who should be upset that Soulja Boy is putting his name on these drop-shipped clone consoles. Let's be perfectly clear about this. He's not making a console. He's not designing a console. He's not in the tech industry. He is taking something that you can get from China and rebranding it and drop-shipping it to people who will pay his marked up price for it. That doesn't make him a tech entrepreneur or any of the things he might fancy himself being. Again, that could just be trolling. He could just be doing it to get a rise out of people. But let's assume that he does sincerely believe that. He's wrong. Because anybody could do that. Anybody could put their name on a drop-shipped console from China and claim they're in the tech industry. But that's not how it works. He did not actually create anything. Hold Slack. I know that guy too. That's a good dude. Met him at a Oklahoma Video Gaming Expo back in the day. So yes, it's the reason these systems come from China. I guess I should clarify that. Copyright law in China is not quite the same as it is in the United States. We've got ourselves a little bit of a situation there where they don't really enforce copyright to the degree that European countries do and the United States and Canada do. Even Mexico, which can be kind of lax, you get a lot of bootleg toys and bootleg games from Mexico as well, but not necessarily to the degree of China, because let's be perfectly honest, they got 1 billion people there, more than 1 billion people, and they can pretty much do what they want, and who's going to stop them? So China is just selling the bootlegs to themselves, to anybody else, and not giving a lick about the copyright. So the only people that are going to pay for it are the people who resell those systems. Because do you think Nintendo or Sega or Sony or Capcom or LucasArts or Disney or anybody can put a stop to what's going on in China? I mean, they can complain, they can petition the government, but it doesn't really do a whole lot of good in most cases. But the person who's reselling them, they can go after that person. They can go after Soulja Boy. They may not be able to get the Chinese Famiclone manufacturer, but they can get the person reselling it, and that's him. So that's the game you're playing if you want to call yourself a tech entrepreneur and put your name on a system that contains Super Mario Brothers under 278,000 different names, so that they can claim there are 900,000 games on the system. Well, great. You got 900,000 games with 278,000 versions of Super Mario, half of which are just Adventure Island with the graphics remapped to look like Mario, and none of them are yours to distribute, and you are up a creek with no paddle once you start claiming that this is your console and you own it, and they can go after you as the reseller. You didn't put it on there, but you're selling it anyway, so you're in trouble. Lucas Doherty! Hey, I know Lucas too. Friends with him. Also met him at Oklahoma Video Game Expo. I'm enjoying this now because I'm actually seeing people I know in the credits. That is half the fun here. But it's going to take a while before we get to me, I'm afraid. Because we're only to the letter M now. So, what other issues of the day in the gaming world can we talk about? Oh, yes. Electronic Arts. Everybody is mad at EA because of the whole "we canceled another Star Wars game" debacle. Honestly, at this point, what do you expect from Electronic Arts? This is the publisher that swallows up indie developers whole, then crams every bit of microtransaction and loot box they can into those games made by that indie publisher, and then when nothing else can be milked out of it, when they've bled everything dry, when they've squeezed the last drop out of the rock that they can possibly squeeze, that's the time when they fold the company and go on their merry way. So, do you honestly expect anything better from them as the person holding the Star Wars license? I don't. I'm kind of used to Electronic Arts being exactly what they are, so I understand for, hey, there I am, Mr. MegaManFan. I'm actually under my handle. I didn't realize I would be in the credits that way as opposed to my real name, but I will take it. Mr. MegaManFan is a backer of this game. So there we go. I finally saw my name in the credits. But let me finish my thought here while these credits continue to scroll. My point would be that if you're a Star Wars fan and you're frustrated because Star Wars games keep getting canceled, I totally get it. But there's something you can do about that. Don't rely on Electronic Arts to put out new Star Wars games. It's not like there aren't a butt-effing ton of Star Wars games. You know what? Go to any mom and pop video game store, go to any chain video game store, even go to your local GameStop that has used games, and I guarantee you they're going to have probably at least one, if not a half dozen, if not maybe a dozen different Star Wars games when you consider all the consoles that Star Wars games could be on and are on. I think I've got at least a dozen different Star Wars games on Xbox alone. I've got at least a half dozen on PlayStation. I know I've got a bunch of Nintendo and Super Nintendo ones. I mean, if I actually sat here and counted every single Star Wars game I have, well, it wouldn't come close to the amount of MegaMan games that I have, but it would still be more than a couple dozen. So what I suggest to you is, if you're upset that you can't buy a new Star Wars game, why don't you go buy an old Star Wars game instead of pining for the right to give Electronic Arts your money, because do they even really deserve it anyway? If they're not going to make the games, then they don't deserve the cash. And if they don't deserve the cash, you might as well spend it on a used game and still get your Star Wars Jones. Go out there and use that money, that $60 that you would have given them for a game they're just not going to make anyway. You can get a lot more Star Wars games for that $60 if you buy used. You can buy probably anywhere from 3 to 10 games for that same amount of money, depending on which Star Wars games you get. So, bottom line here is, if you're upset at Electronic Arts, I get it. I'm not telling you not to be Sean Kennedy. I think that might be the same Sean Kennedy I know. Anyway, you can be mad. You can be upset. This is the internet. That's where people go to get irate and scream their heads off about everything that they're upset about in this world today. That's what the internet was made for. Griping, complaining, and speculating about things. And when it comes to video games, we're all very good at that. But you can also choose to not feed the troll. This is another example of that. Electronic Arts is a troll. Not an intentional troll. We don't even know that Soulja Boy is an intentional troll. He may be an accidental troll, but regardless, Electronic Arts is not an intentional troll. They're just very much focused on their own business, whether or not it makes people happy. So they're not necessarily going out there to upset Star Wars fans, but they're also not going out there to please Star Wars fans. So don't expect them to please yourself. That sounds almost perverted when I say it that way. But yes, please yourself. Do not rely on Electronic Arts to give you what you want. There are other ways to get it. Wes Wiskowski, Wesley Barber, Will Hopkins, William Craven are all backers, as well as Zach Lee, Zachary, Zach Job, Zachary Rowe, Zach Milton, Zach Latour, Zach Nakano, Zarik Toops, Zeb Schrader, Zero, Zobek92, Zombie Paste, and something I'm not even going to try to pronounce. And now we have a whole nother tier. But I've already seen my name, so I know which tier I'm in. Just Chris. Not Chris, not Super Chris, not Chris to the third. Just Chris. May the Schwartz be with you. Matthew McDowell. No relation to the actor. Pedro. Vote for Pedro. By the way, I'm drinking a shake chocolate porter right now. This is a porter with natural flavors added from Boulder, Colorado. If I gotta sit here and watch a bunch of names scroll on a stream and talk about things in the gaming industry, then I'm going to enjoy a beverage while I do so, because it also quells the hunger. And this also psychs me up to get back in and do all those challenges again, because I know this game ain't getting any easier. I mean, it's probably not getting easier with me drinking a beverage, but you know what? It wasn't easy to begin with. Brianna Weiss. I wonder if she's related to Brett Weiss. I do know a Brett Weiss. I contributed to his book. Now, I know there's not a person named Cenobit, but I do know the Cenobites from various, I believe, Hellraiser movies. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. I believe they are the Hellraiser's minions. We have such sights to show you. This isn't for your eyes. DJ Selicky Grip. Okay, DJ. F. John Rickert. Vernon Santiago III. Francois Bacon. Gary Crawford. Gerardo Alfonso Garcia Lopez. Ginger 13. Glenn Alexander Torin. Alright, enough reading names. Let's talk about another prevalent issue right now in the gaming scene. The Nintendo Switch Online service. Everybody's wondering, are Super Nintendo games coming to it? Are other consoles other than Super Nintendo and Nintendo coming to it? Will Nintendo ever turn the drip feed on and go from just a couple of games and the special editions of a couple of games each month and actually release the floodgates on the amount of content they could actually put on the service? Well, I think they could add Super Nintendo games, but I don't think they're going to release the floodgates and let everything flow. I don't see that happening anytime soon. They are only charging about $1.66 a month if you pay for a whole year in advance. That's like $20 for 12 months. So it's not a lot of coin they're getting for this online service. So in my opinion, and I realize I'm the minority on this, but the amount of content we're getting on the Switch Online gaming portion is commensurate to the amount we're paying. Now, if you're saying it should be more robust regardless of the price, I'm not going to argue with you there. I think that the online matchmaking system has left a lot of people feeling like their server support is not adequate. They could have more servers, or they could have more robust servers. I'm certainly not opposed to that. I wouldn't even oppose it if they had to charge a little more to improve it. Or if that's the same Paul Mooney I know. Anyway, if you think they should be doing a better job, you can definitely say that. If you also think that you're getting $1.66 a month out of it with what they're giving to you for the classic games in the Switch Online, I can agree with that too. I can see it both ways. For me, the online matchmaking isn't hugely important. I'm more interested in the classic games, and I appreciate the cloud save backups. So my view is, let's just ride it out and see what they do with it over time. If they give us more features, that's great. If they charge a little more for it, it's still cheaper than almost everybody else's online services. It's definitely cheaper than PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live Gold, so I could even see them charging a little more and I would still pay for it. And I would also expect them to give me a little more than they give right now. So I'm kind of hoping maybe they will without us having to pay more, in which case I'm not saying everybody should just shut up and stop bitching, because again, this is the internet. That's what people do on the internet. That's what we're all here on. That's what we're all about. It's the internet. People go here to complain like it's a physical place you can go to. That sounds really weird when I say it that way. I sound like that cranky old senator. The internet is a series of tubes. No, but I'm just saying, on this virtual space that we all inhabit in a presence that is not physical but is an extension of our physical selves, we like to complain. So people will complain whether Nintendo gives them everything or nothing because it is just in people's nature to complain. I try not to be, you know, I'm not going to say I never complain. That's just not true. But I try to complain about things that are truly, truly, truly outrageous, to quote Gem and the Holograms. And I'm doing that for my wife because she was a fan of that show growing up. So, what do I mean by truly, truly, truly outrageous? I mean, let's talk what Konami did to Hideo Kojima. I think that's truly, truly, truly outrageous. I have lost a lot of respect for Konami over the years, and I realize they are the progenitor of some of my favorite all-time video game series, including the Castlevania series, but that doesn't give them a free pass to treat the man behind one of the most iconic series of video games of all time, the Metal Gear franchise, the way that they treated him. It was rude, disrespectful, petty, and spiteful. It was completely unnecessary for them to do what they did to him the way that they did it. So my response to that is, if you want to complain about Konami, go right ahead, because they deserve it. They've earned it. They're in that doghouse because they put themselves there. They deserve to take the flack they get. And for that same reason, if you're someone who spent the last month working without pay because you're a federal employee and your services were deemed essential and you were not allowed to just leave the job and you still had to show up whether you got paid or not, you want to complain about that, please. I'm right there with you. I will stand there with you and complain on your behalf as you complain. We will complain together because you shouldn't be working for no pay. Nobody should. And that's just a ridiculous thing to put people through in life, to expect them to work for no pay and then go home and not have any money to pay their rent, to pay their mortgage, to pay their electric bill, to pay for their groceries. I just can't fathom why anybody would even show up for their job. Even if it's deemed essential and you're told you can't not show up, if you're not getting paid, why wouldn't you just not show up? What are they going to do? Fire you from a job you're not getting paid to do? I mean, that's my 2 cents on it, but yours may differ. But thankfully, at the time I'm recording this, it looks like that situation is coming to an end, at least for the short term. I believe they've worked out a deal that will refund the government through February 15th, at which point we could be going through this whole thing all over again. Hard to say. Here's another thing that if you want to complain about and you're the kind of person who enjoys getting your frustrations out and you're a New Orleans Saints fan, I'm totally with you. That blown call with about, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, that one is pretty outrageous. I'm not saying you should file a lawsuit like a couple of NFL fans did, because referees blow calls all the time. They either call something that's not there or they don't call something that is there. And we're dealing with the latter in this situation. It was blatant pass interference. He basically ran straight into the receiver before the ball even got there and knocked him off the course. And whether the ball was catchable or not, you can't do that. You can't knock somebody out of the way without even making an attempt to play the ball. That's pass interference, and he didn't get called for it, and it changed the course of the game. Maybe the Saints wouldn't have won, but they sure would have been first and goal if that pass had been flagged for pass interference, because the receiver never even got a chance to make an attempt to grab the ball. So, please complain about that. If you're a Saints fan, if you're not a Saints fan, but you just believe in good NFL football, played the right way and called the right way, by all means, complain about that shit. I'm with you. But I'm still going to look forward to the Super Bowl anyway. I want to see if the Los Angeles Rams can hang with the New England Patriots. I have my doubts, but there have been chinks in the armor before. People have found ways to beat the Patriots. The Eagles found a way. The Giants found a way. It can be done. Brady is not entirely infallible. He is not a one-man army. He can't do it all by himself. It might be painted as Brady against the world, but really, he's got a whole team surrounding him who all has to help him to complete those passes and to make those plays. And he has to have a line that protects him, and he has to have a defense that can shut down the opposing side's offense. Can you stop Jared Goff and the Los Angeles Rams? That will be the chance we get to see. We get to find out if the Patriots can do that. We get to find out if the Rams can do that to them. So, something to look forward to. And of course, that dates when I'm recording this stream. It's obviously before the big game, so now you know. Tobias. I went to school with a kid named Tobias. He was an exchange student. Good guy. Mostly good guy. Oh, no, wait. Was that Thorsten or Tobias? I know a Tobias, but I also know a Thorsten. I think it was Tobias. WW Jason D. Well, that's clearly a handle as opposed to a name. And Z-Cube would be as well. Thank you for playing. Copyright 2011 Wayward Logic. Copyright 2015 Sebastian Leg. And Guavaman Enterprises. And that's it for the credits. Alright. Enough jibba jabba about topics of the day. Let's get back into the game. Madelyn is swearing fealty to the king. The Dark Wizard arrives. And everything goes to heck. And the entire royal family is gone. And Madelyn and her dog are left. Although that seems to be a ghost following her more than it is a dog, but what do I know? This orchestral music is pretty nice, I gotta say. Yeah, now I gotta deal with these spitting plants again. What fun. I got a weapon upgrade already. It's not a long-range weapon, but it's like an energy blast of some kind. And apparently I can power it up. I can power it up and release it. And it attacks whatever enemy is nearby. I dig it. Oh! Alright, let's give it a try here with this spitting plant. Yeah, it didn't quite work. Maybe I gotta jump up and release it. There we go. Let's see if it can kill these worm things as well. No, it doesn't seem to work on the worms. That takes a long time to charge up, so it may not necessarily be worth it in all cases. But it's handy in some. Whoa! Up right out of the ground on me. Oh, I still got my energy weapon, so I guess I won't get too cranky about it. Seems to be more powerful than my standard weapon, so not complaining. Oh! Now I'm back to a dull weapon as opposed to an energy weapon. Well, no, I can still hold down the button and do an energy blast. So maybe that was something I could do all along and just didn't realize it. Oh yeah, it said that L1 and R1 were a way to cycle through weapons. Right? Didn't it say that? But I don't feel like I'm cycling. I feel like I'm just using the spear here repeatedly, so maybe I don't have another weapon and that's why I can't cycle through. Alright, on to the next area. Okay, throwing crap sucks it up. You know, the money bags disappear, but it looks like you can still pick up the coins when they fall down. I'm just now realizing that the coins seem to have more permanence. And I'm definitely not complaining about that. Whoa! So I think that energy blast is my ghost the most. It certainly seems like it would be. Because the ghost kind of disappears when I do that. So I get the feeling that's my ghost doing his thing. Oh, it's a big plant. Is that gonna knock me all the way? Yep. All the way back. Ain't kidding about arcade mode. Just not having to feed coins into it is the only difference here. That was not smooth. Oh. Well, I should probably just restart. I'm already down a couple lives at this point. Calgon, take me away! Let's do this again. They couldn't do this for copyright reasons, but I would lol so much if somebody programmed into it. Alright, let's see if I can get through this area this time without dying. Money bags disappear too fast would be my only complaint right now. I'm happy the coins have some permanence, but the money bags definitely disappear in a hurry. This is the one staircase that I still keep having trouble with. Casual bit, what the shit? What did you program wrong on that staircase that people can't just walk down it like normal? I guess I can jump down it, but that's just obtuse, man. It should not be that hard to do. Oh no, all the way back to the beginning? Oh, for the love of... You know what? I'm just going to be honest. I don't have starting all over again from the beginning in me. I think this game needs some save states. I realize they're making it like the old days, but perhaps they're trying too much to make it like the old days. I will get better at this over time, but I think 90 minutes is enough for this stream. And you get to enjoy it while I get to work at my job, which requires me to work evenings and weekends sometimes. So, unfortunately, I'm working while you're watching the stream. Or maybe you're watching it in replay form broken down into individual compounds, because that's the way of the world as the earth goes round, to quote Keith Murray. But, either way, to my 819 subscribers, thank you one and all. To my friends like Sir Crunch and Lord Zombie, dig you guys. I'll see you for the sushi bowl. To my peeps here on YouTube like HN Gaming and Woodbarian, hope you're doing all right. And I will see each and every one of you stream.